So the torpedo bat,
Yeah.
where do you stand with that right now?
I think my big take on the bat, it doesn't feel any different in my hand. It honestly feels pretty similar to the bat that I've been swinging. Just, obviously it's birch and I use maple, so I've switched obviously to that. And but it feels balanced like my other bat does. It's just obviously a bigger barrel. A lot of people don't, if you're not in baseball, you don't really understand, but there's regulations on maple bats because of the way they break and the low density. So it's a safety thing, for when you break them. You don't want pitchers get hit or a position player because they break so easy when they're shaped a certain way and the barrel's too big. So they have to keep the maples a little smaller, whereas ash or birch, you get to make the barrel a lot bigger because the density, and it's not going to break like a maple would, and it's a lot safer. So they figured out if you can use birch, you can make a massive, kind of barrel in a different spot without holding it down like that. So in the regulations, so it feels good in my hand. Doesn't feel any different. I've talked to some guys. They're like, yeah, it doesn't feel different. So, but if it's working, it's working. So I'm gonna keep using it, and I definitely, I think it's working right now. So I use it left-handed. I tried it a little bit right-handed. I don't know if I like it as much on the right side, just because I like it a little more top-heavy and it's a little more balanced. So we'll see.
I was going to say, do you use different bats from different sides?
Yeah.
Okay, how different? What are?
Yeah, so my left-handed bat is it's a little longer and a little lighter. Right-handed one's a little shorter, a little heavier, and just the weight distribution. So left-handed, I like a balanced bat. I actually picked up Dylan Moore's back in 2022, and that's where I started using it. He's the one who kind of got me on it. So yeah, balanced bat, and it's a little more flared knob. And right-handed, I started using a little more top-heavy bat, so like the weight's more at the end of the bat, just because I get a little more flat from the right side. So, and it's got a little more traditional type knob. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've liked over the past couple of years, and it's been good to me. So,
are they the same weight?
No, lefty, they're not much different. They're 0.25 ounces.
That's something you don't really feel. It's more the distribution. Okay.
So, I mean, I think my left one's actually technically a little lighter than my right, but yeah, it's not much. You really more notice like where the weight is in the bat. So
Starters. I think if I told you at this point, 23 games, 5 quality starts, you might be a little bit shocked. But when you look at kind of some of the stuff that you see right now, it seems like the stuff is pretty much there. What is happening right now in the guys? Just it's not a matter. It's a matter of pitch count. How are teams getting the pitch counts up right now on the starters?
Yeah, I think obviously with where we're at and based on how our starters have performed, I think we're in a great spot. I think if you had said that at the beginning of the year, record would have been a lot worse. So, I'm not worried about those guys. They're great at what they do, and early in the season can always be tough on some guys, and just trying to find their stuff, trying to get acclimated, trying to get into that routine, and but to me, it's just about being aggressive in the zone and realizing we got a lot of power arms. We don't need to necessarily to try to dance around the strike zone or be careful. It's really about, hey, your stuff can play in the zone. You can get people out in the zone, and really doubling down on that, and not trying to be too finesse, not trying to be too careful, and obviously there's situations in the game when you are going to be a little more smart per se, and who you're throwing what to, in what situations, but really trying to double down on the aggressiveness and not be afraid of contact. And as pitchers, the natural tendency is you don't want to get hit, and I think every pitcher will eventually fall into that category in the sense of I want to get swing and miss, I don't want to get hit, I don't want to get touched up. But the reality of it is, as power pitchers are, a lot of the times, you're going to get a lot of Ks, and every once in a while you are going to get booked in the sense of you will give up a home run every once in a while. That's just how it is, and it's just baseball. But doubling down and not being afraid of going out there and wanting contact, wanting people to swing, And I think that really puts the pitcher in a good situation when he goes out there. So,
Yeah, probably just beginning of the season stuff. They've kind of not gotten into that groove. That
yeah, and like I said, it's different for everybody. It's as much as spring training gets people ready, in the same way it doesn't get people ready because people aren't on the same schedules. And I always say it all the time. Spring training couldn't be any more different from the season. It really couldn't. You're not sleeping in your own bed every night. You're not traveling. You're not flying thousands of miles across the country. You're not getting everybody's A stuff every single day. You're getting big league talent on the regular. People are fighting for their jobs, fighting for at bats, fighting for runs, and there's not thousands of people watching you, and it means a little more. So I think that's the one thing that is a little different, or the multiple things that are different from spring training to season, and sometimes it takes a little longer of a period. And like I said, I've seen it from all our guys. It's in there, and they're not pitching bad by any means. They're still doing a very good job, just with how high the expectations are with them, and the reality of it is they are human, and they're going to do human-like things.
They are?
They are human, and but I have no doubt in my mind by the end of the year they'll be right where we need them, and they'll be back to what they do best. So
there are some good parts of the season where you guys have been pretty far up there in strikeout percentage. What's the key to lowering that as quickly as you have?
I think it just comes down to approach. Really focusing in with 2 strikes on where you're trying to hit the ball and what you're trying to do with it. Realizing we're not trying to pull yank the ball for a home run every single time, even with 2 strikes. Really just being consistent with the middle of the field, and when you're thinking middle of the field, you're letting the ball get a little deeper. You're not worried about trying to do too much with it. You're focusing that way, and it helps keep you on the spin a little longer and helps you fight off the fastballs as well, and just gives you longer at bats. When you get longer at bats, you get more pitches to hit, and you're able to do that. And like I said, when you have a good approach and you're thinking, middle of the field, then you can get those kind of lousy singles. You can get those, put more balls in play and punch out less. So.
Do you keep track of lousy singles? Is there a stat for that for you?
No, there's no stat, but you just see like all the good teams.
They're important.
You look at the end of the day and you're like, oh, that was just a crappy hit. But at the end of the day, that's how those things add up, and those kind of hits and singles and at bats add up over time. And that's what good teams do. And obviously, you're gonna have your home runs, you're gonna have your big doubles, like big knocks, like. Those are bound to happen always, but I think the biggest thing this year is how many, those singles that just get over their head, or we're able to put this ball in play and move a runner, like instead of taking that strikeout. So it's those little things that go a long way, and those are the things that win ball games. It's not always the sexy, 3-run homer. So
you kind of need everybody doing that, I would imagine. It's hard to commit to it if everybody else isn't.
Yeah, it's a team-wide approach.
Yeah.
So, it's just nice because every single day it's the same approach. It's consistently the same message, and you're doing the same thing every day, and you're not constantly trying to chase a bunch of different rabbits or whatever it is. But you're not trying to go different ways. You're not changing every day.
Yeah.
You're not going one day where you're trying to go this way or you're trying to go this way as far as like approach wise, parts of the field. Or you're trying to change yourself every single day. If you just consistently be that same guy and have that simple thought, then you can become a more consistent player.
What's the most important thing he gave you? And what you do is not easy, and the dream that you chased is not easy. And what is the most important way that he supported you in that?
The opportunity, really, the opportunity to be around him and just learn, and he always put me and my siblings first, coming up, it was always about us, and then him and my mom, like everything was second. So they always put us first. And I think the biggest thing was when I was around 14 or 15,
Mm-hmm.
He had the opportunity to stay in the game, coaching, and to keep doing doing with that, but he wanted to focus on his kids and he wanted to focus on me and coming up through high school. And he wanted me to be, have the chance to go on to play college baseball and maybe pro ball. And so he gave up a lot and sacrificed a lot for me and the rest of my family to do that. And I don't know, like I said, if I'm where I'm at if he doesn't do that. So just the sacrifice that he did, like I said, he stepped away and like I said, could have stayed in the game and could have kept that dream going, but he kind of sacrificed his for mine and my family. So that's something that I always remember. Yeah. This is maple syrup, obviously from Vermont. It's from my family's, maple syrup farm. So
What?
yeah. So my dad's side is all from Vermont, and they grew up on the farm, and they have, obviously they're right on the border of Canada, so they're literally 5 minutes, and so they make maple syrup, and I do not have a shortage of it. So they send it to me every year. I get big bottles, small ones. There's different grades. There's a whole science behind it, and they sent me this one, and I already got one in my fridge at home. So I was just like, this would be a cool little thing to have up there, and it's a nice little memento to think of my family back in Vermont, and it's a cool little display to have up there.
Have you spent time up on the farm? Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there. It's been a long time since I've been there, but they're really good. They're good to me. They always send me out syrup, and I'm not, like I said, we're not short of any quality syrup, so it's definitely much better than when you get at the store, the normal brand or whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But I actually got to see everybody this off season. Went up there, and it was a good time.
How fun. We're going to have a maple syrup tasting sometime, different
Oh,
grades
yeah.
and things like
Well,
that. How's your palate with the maple syrup?
I don't know. Well, we can have Brash and Naylor involved too.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the Canadians involved.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm thinking, how can you work the Christmas trees in? Luke Raleigh, I mean, there's something there too. You guys could,
he can get in it. He's a big guy.
Okay. And the last, but I'm thinking probably not the least, right here. Who is that?
This is Rufus.
Rufus?
Rufus and Rufus Jr. So, 2 Raleigh monkeys that I've had since 2003.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they original?
I don't know.
I don't.
So, my dad, I was the bat boy back then for my dad's team, and they were the senior class of 03. This was their Raleigh monkey during their run when they won the conference championship and went to the regionals. And I got really close with that class, and I still talk to those guys to this day. And they gave me, Alan Beck's his name. He's the manager, or I guess the head coach now at Western Carolina, where my dad was. So he gave these to me, and I always had them. It's kind of that was the first year where I started to understand baseball a little bit, and I fell in love with it. And they're, like I said, really good group of guys, and they gave me the Raleigh monkey, and I've had it ever since, and I've used it as my team ones. I've kept it through college. It's always been around, and just always been in my locker, just as like a little cool memento to make me think back to those fun days. So
Ozzy tells all, build your ultimate sandwich.
So I would get a sourdough. Yeah. Sourdough, I'd lightly toast it to where it's still soft but not crunchy, and then I would do the lightest thin amount of mayonnaise on one side of the bread. I would go crisp lettuce. I would go blackened turkey. I like a little spicy, so it's got a little seasoning, Cajun kind of seasoning.
Okay.
Boar's Head makes a really good one, and then I'd add some roast beef on there.
Oh, okay.
And I would do small tomatoes, not a lot, just a small amount of tomatoes, not really thick, thin cut.
Okay.
And salt and pepper. And I think that would be my ideal sandwich.
It's very specific. I'm impressed there. Light
Trying to think,
mayonnaise
did I
on
miss
one
anything?
side. You don't like cheese
I'm
on
not-
it or
oh
anything?
yeah, I would do cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would
okay.
do pepper jack cheese.
Pepper
Pepper jack cheese.
And the sourdough
yeah,
bread.
I forgot about cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
sourdough, cheese, pepper jack,
Salt and pepper.
turkey, roast beef.
Blackened turkey.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a full dinner meal, maybe I'll like make some bacon on there and make it kind of like a club.
Okay. Avocado?
Yeah, you do avocado on
Okay.
there.
All right.
I mean that's more like a dinner sandwich. If like versus like a lunch sandwich,
Okay.
you're probably not going to make all that stuff because it takes too much time.
Okay. That sounds like a good sandwich.
Yeah, that sounds really good actually. My mom makes my mom makes the best sandwiches in the world. So she's really good at sandwiches and wraps.
Oh,
Yeah, but there's just something different about mom making a sandwich
Of course.
versus right. I mean,
yes.
everything. I mean, it could be a peanut butter jelly, and it's just better when she makes it. So I don't know.
I cannot disagree with you on that one.
That's a good question. Those are the questions I'm here to answer.
Everybody likes sandwiches. Besides torpedo bat, are there any other changes you would like to see in baseball? Maybe limit the number of times a batter can be intentionally walked.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like that'd be an easy rule to get around. I mean, you still be able to just throw balls out of hand. You just find a way to do it. So I don't like. I like the way it is right now with the no ABS. So maybe not doing a ABS automatic zone.
Okay.
Maybe I would like to see starting pitchers go longer into the game. So maybe make a rule about pitchers, maybe setting a rule where they have to go at least this amount of pitches or, barring injury,
Right.
or like this amount of innings, or you end up losing your DH. I've heard them talk about that before. So I think it would just, create a little better flow in the game and give guys a little longer of a leash. So
I like both of those. Are you okay with the base runner on second after in extras?
yeah, it's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, and part of me is like, it's good because it gets the game rolling and, we're not playing as long of games. And then part of me is like, well, when it comes to playoff time, they don't use that rule. So it's kind of like the more real type of baseball. So
Yeah.
I kind of like 50-50 about it.
No, you don't have all of the answers, but you talked about it a little bit last night. Dan talked about it a little bit, and Brian Wu did too, that this team has been in a similar position the last few years, and you don't want the same outcome. Is there anything you can take from the lead up? Anything that you looked back on and said, yeah, if we had done that, put that in the memory bank, and that's something that perhaps you can use this time of the year, this year?
Yeah, I think, to me, it's just, I think we just got to go down, with the sword in the hand, not holding up the shield. It's kind of the way I look at it, Don't play defense, play offense. If we're going to fail on our own terms and fail going down, swinging in a way and being aggressive and being the aggressor. Don't go down, trying to be defensive or maybe being unsure, not being ready to go. So to me, that's kind of the focus to me. Just every night, whatever happens, leave it on the field and like I said, you can. If you're being the aggressor and you're being the one attacking, and whether that's on the mound or at the plate, being ready to go, then if we fail, we fail. It is what it is. But don't go down trying to be defensive or trying to be cute on the mound or trying to be passive at the plate, whatever it may be. Just having that aggressive mindset the rest of the season and going and taking it and not trying to feel like we're losing something or we're letting something fall between the cracks. So that's the kind of way I look at it and how I see it.
One of the things that Dan Wilson did that helped you guys get to the point to play the way that you have been day in and day out and flip it the way you did as quickly as you did.
Yeah, I think what Dan brought to the table was a sense of calmness and a sense of trust in the players. And I think when you're obviously always going to go through ups and downs, and you're gonna be fighting every single day, but trusting the guys, and that's ultimately what it's about. And the numbers are great, playing matchups, you pay attention to those things, but at the end of the day, it's about trusting your guys and trusting the guys in that lineup and being able to consistently get a foundation and something that doable every single day for a baseball team. And I think that's kind of what you found, especially in this streak. You know, there's not been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of consistency in the guys and the order, and it's all just starts about trusting those guys and you know, getting that consistent playing. So it's I think that's what you've seen from Dan.
Did you see him? He's talked about you have to put the foot on the pedal and not let up right now. Have you seen him put the foot on the pedal while being that consistency, still turning it up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm proud of these, you know, not just Dan, but these guys in the clubhouse. You know, it's been a testament to, you know, how hard they work, how consistent they work, what they're doing every single day, going out and not only are you you know, winning games, but you're not satisfied. You know, you're you know, I look at the Houston series, for example, you know, going out there and taking care of business, you know, day 2 and day 3, you know, after that first game, you know, riding that high of getting that first one, big time Friday night game, and you know, the guys could have, you know, easily just, you know, been happy with that and had a letdown, and then you go into game 3, you know, tied up and it's a huge difference maker. So, you know, we came out hungry game 2 and game 3. You know, it makes a difference. Those games really do make a difference, and not being satisfied is definitely been a good kind of calling card for this team.
Yeah, that's going to be a great take.
Already? Again, no time to get warmed up.
No time. How about packing a suitcase? Do you have it down to a system yet?
My biggest problem is overpacking. I've thought about just completely keeping one suitcase at the field full time, and just that be my road suitcase, and I just wear the same stuff on the road all year long. It wouldn't bother me, but I talked to the clubbies a little bit about it, and they think it's a good idea, so
Okay.
we'll see.
Feet okay after the cowboy boot incident?
Oh, jeez. Feet are great. I got some new boots in Texas. Could not get them. I mean, I could have got them off by myself, but it would have been all my might to get them off. So just didn't have a little boot jack there. I had somebody help me pull them off in the lobby the other day. A trainer helped me.
The official first Vetter Cup.
The Vetter Cup?
Well, there is a trophy.
This is a bunch of nonsense.
Louis told the story afterwards that you guys talked about, let's go for 50 this time, because his only other start here, he threw 47 straight fastballs. And why'd you have to call the slider?
I don't know. I shouldn't have.
No, you blamed.
I regret it.
Things. I mean, when we come home, they're there waiting, and they're like, they could not.
Hey, go in there. We're busy.
Bryce Miller there, a complete and total. Well, hello, Tucker. Yeah, the treats are over on the bench.
Only comes for treats.
Yes, he does.
I was the life of the party at his wedding, for sure.
I've heard stories. You can dance a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so why are you the most fun?
Weddings, they bring it out of me, I guess. You know.
There are baseball gods, after all. You do believe
There
in the
are.
baseball gods, don't you?
There are, yes.
Is there a special way to not anger them?
Yes, there's lots of ways. You never take the game for granted. You never think you're bigger than the game, and you never ever call anybody out. Oh, this guy stinks. This guy can't hit. This guy can't pitch. You never say it out loud, because the next thing you know, they hit a home run or they throw a CG, and you're walking back. Why did I even say anything?
It's your fault.
Yep.
Would you rather fight one Logan Gilbert-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Logan Gilberts?
Duck-sized Logan Gilberts.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
the
what you
one.
would take?
Yeah.
100 of them.
Yeah, because they look like Logan, so they're miniature size. So
You were surprised that he started not only hyping you up, but calling, nope, lay off that one. I think he had the line, and it was just one word of the entire home run derby when he asked what he saw from behind the plate. What were you thinking when he said greatness?
I was just thinking, that's a great excuse to not have to answer the question. So I don't think, you know, with millions of people watching and having to give a long answer, I don't think he was ready for that. So it was one of those accidental, oops, it worked out kind of answers, I think.
It seems like they have a little bit of crazy in them. Cole Young.
Cole Young? He's kind of boring, though.
Let's go ahead and go take a look inside the bullpen for those who haven't seen it.
Where's the door? Early in 22, they were sending whoever wasn't catching down here to bullpen.
So you're a part-time bullpen catcher.
One time specifically, we were playing the Royals, and I had 4 drunk guys just wearing me out over there. Talking about me hitting like 069 or something, and it was brutal. You were actually I remember you were on the Royals. It was that same series.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember you struck me out of that series too.
Highlight of my career, by the way.
Striking
out Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go out to Montana for a little bit this offseason.
Gonna go see Divish?
No, I'm not going to see.
The spray of the champagne or the dump of the beer, or who was the absolute menace in that clubhouse?
I feel like Luke Raley was following me around all night.
pouring drinks on me all night. I've been like poking the bear kind of thing. No, it was great. Everybody was having a great time, and you know, you deserve that. There's no better feeling than, you know, ice cold beer and champagne going down your back.